What's up, everybody? It's Chris, and I'm back to react. Now, this was recommended to me, and I just wanted to watch more PJ. It's The House on the Left, and I am excited. It looks a little bit like a horror thing, and so I have this to help me out. Boba. Their name is Boba. Also, I'm going to try my hardest not to say sorry as much as before in any of my videos because it's annoying me. But we're going to get into this and see how creepy and how weird this looks and will be.
Hello? Is anyone there? Hello?
PJ, look, we got these awesome Halloween masks.
What the fuck, dude?
God, I need new sidekicks. I'll be straight with you. I'm not really a fan of Halloween. I know, save your offended gasps. I mean, yeah, sure, I'm dressed as a witch, but if I'm being honest, it was all for the sake of that juicy aesthetic. As a kid, I was never allowed to celebrate Halloween, and now as an adult, I find myself not caring for it. So, with no Halloween memories to speak of, I figured, why not tell a scary story? Well, not really scary. This video is just gonna be saturated with visual gags. But a spooky tale fits in well with the theme of Halloween, and yeah, I can't guarantee scares, but I promise to try making it interesting.
Story.
So without further ado, I present to you the childhood memory and true tale of The House on the Left.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I grew up in a row home. For those of you that don't know what row homes are, they're basically a row of houses that are all connected to each other. This made it so that I was always surrounded by a house on the right and a house on the left. I preferred the house on the left because that house was home to a sweet old lady. Like, I cannot tell you how often this compassionate, neighborly woman helped me and my family out. And I guess that's why I was really sad to find out that she'd be moving. She was getting old after all, so her family that didn't live with her coaxed her into one of those retirement homes. Moving trucks came for her stuff, some men settled those last-minute renovations, and once she was gone, her house was left untouched. Fast forward a bit, and suddenly I'm hearing we have a new neighbor. And I knew it was true because I'd been catching sounds next door through the walls.
Is it a
like
good
I said,
neighbor?
Our houses were connected, so it wasn't too hard
State
to
Farm?
be nosy. I'm not weird. I couldn't hear him speak or make a whole lot of noise, but Tiny Me knew without a doubt that these were the sounds of a house that was lived in. Wasn't thrilled about our nice old bed being replaced, but I was curious to see what our new neighbor looked like. Oddly enough, however, I never saw them step foot outside of their house. I'd go to school, come home, play on the porch, the backyard, and nothing. Not even on the weekends.
That was weird.
This was kind of unheard of on my block. Everyone had to step out at some point, even if it was just to chill out on the porch and judge each other. But no matter how many times I was outside, I never caught sight of them. Never. And I don't know why, but younger me just didn't feel right about it. Something was off. Something a kid could never place their finger on. But I ignored it because it's not like I had anything to worry about, right? It didn't concern me. At least I never felt like it did until the dream.
What did you see?
I was running in this house I had never been in before. Running from a man that I was too afraid to turn back and catch a glimpse of. I was ducking away in his room. To this day, I remember every inch of that room, from the tan carpets to the two large windows with sheer curtains. The details were prominent, like they were supposed to be important, but I didn't know why. I just knew the man was getting closer. I was hiding behind the bed, but all I could see was the shadow coming nearer and nearer. I could hear him laughing. I was afraid. I wanted to wake up. I had to wake up. This was only a dream. They're closing in so quickly now. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. And I thought I had. But instead, it was like I was pushed. Pushed from one home into the next. My home. And instead of opening my eyes and being met with my ceiling, I was met with the shocking sight of me. I was floating over my body.
Oh, astral projection?
There it was. resting there beside my mother and my brother beside her, like we always slept back then. And as soon as I acknowledged it, I was being forced back down, straight into my body, until I was sitting up and gasping.
Astral projection.
I don't know if it was a clever nightmare or a strange, out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
I was just scared, because it all felt so real to a kid like me.
Okay, first of
But
all,
also
putting the volume
because
up
I
on
was
this.
pushed through that wall that was connected to the house on the left. As if I was inside. From here, the story loses some luster. I didn't go on some adventure to find the truth. I didn't break in to see if my suspicions about the house were true.
You should
I
probably
did
not
note
break
some
in,
sheer
kiddos.
curtains on 2 big windows in the front. Windows to the room where it all would have taken place, perhaps, but that wasn't enough proof. And without proof, what good was it being
Yeah, don't
scared?
stand on the streets either.
But
You'll get hit by a car.
I was young and dumb and scared. So I did what I always did when I was scared. I avoided it. But I admit, it was hard to ignore it when I'd be sitting there alone by myself and hearing the sounds. It was hard to step outside when I'd pass by and see that porch light come on, knowing that someone
Let me
was
pause. Here, my first thoughts is that the neighbors have some kind of Wiccan going on around there. Wiccan isn't 100% bad. There's actually a lot of good people that are Wiccan. But there are people that use dark magic and black magic, and it is very, very scary when they do it. And they sometimes involve other people for experimentation subjects. And sometimes they do it by accident. And because the houses are so close together, it wouldn't be surprising if they did something that caused all 3 houses that are smushed together to end up like being a part of it. Now, maybe she's the only one that was involved in it because she has a better sixth sense than everybody else. Or she could have been the direct target because they could have been seeing her the whole time that she was playing outside. But nobody really, well, I don't really know. It's just a theory of mine. But let's just get back into this video. And
there who probably didn't want anyone to see him. And it was especially hard to step out into my own backyard when the day came that I felt this sharp rock swish past me, barely missing my head and slamming against the fence with the kind of sound that spoke wonders about its intention of doing damage to the person they threw it at. You know what's funny? Is that I actually blamed my brother for it, because he was with me when it happened, but he genuinely didn't know that a rock had been thrown. So young PJ suspected the man in the house on the left, because after that rock nearly hit me, for the first time I heard that back door slam quickly on a day where there wasn't the slightest draft in the air to take blame. It scared me and my brother to the core. We bolted back inside.
Yeah, I would have bolted too.
So like I said, the story is lackluster from here. I didn't do anything about the house on the left. What could I do? I just convinced myself at time that there was a logical reason for everything. I stopped going out, spent more time online, and eventually did forget. Although, I wouldn't be sharing the story if I didn't have at least one case of interaction with this house. The last bit of interaction I'd have for a few years, in fact, was on a day as simple as any other, when my mom suddenly asked me to help her hang some laundry outside. She carried the clothes, I carried the clothespins, and me, being the intellectual that I was, had placed them on the little stone divider that separated our backyard from the backyard on the left. Only to tip the dang pins over, scattering them on our neighbor's side. Frick. Of course I told my mom, but she simply told me, hop over and get it. This was strange to me, because my mom never let us trespass. It was easy, but it could get us in serious trouble. Still, I figured I should do what I was told. I hopped over, collected all the pins, spared a glance at what was once the old lady's beautiful rose garden. Our neighbor really let the poor thing go. It looked like a small jungle. Odd, but whatever. I already had the pins and retreated back beside my mom. I guess that's around the time I decided to open my mouth and strike up some curious conversation, not even knowing what this conversation would soon entail. I'm surprised you let me do that. What do you mean? Telling me to hop over the fence? Remember, you never let us do that as kids because you didn't want the neighbors to catch us. And honestly, whoever lives there would have gotten pretty mad if they saw me. And guys, I will never, ever forget what she said. What do you mean? No one's lived in that house for years.
What the fuck?
What? But I thought, I don't know what you heard, but the last person to live there was the old lady.
What the fuck?
You know, that was probably all just a really weird series of coincidences and
No,
strange
that was not a
events
fucking
strung together
coincidence.
over the years.
That was
but
not
as
a
kid,
coincidence.
it was scary as
Hold
heck.
up a
So
minute.
I figured, hey, let's.
If no one's lived in that house the whole time, there's activity, everything died, I don't think that grandma, like, would have been so aggressive with this kid, okay? I don't think this freaking grandma would have been, like, a bad person if she had died and took over that thing. No, I don't think so at all. No. I just think that that's very, very weird that an occurrence like that happened. It's very, very weird for a demon or a ghost to take a habitat and make it into their own if they weren't summoned or something. So did this grandma summon it before she left? Did this grandma turn evil when she died? Did this grandma basically just left and then some shit happened? Some trespassers went in there? What exactly happened? And that's fucking creepy and scary, and there's so many theories that's going on in my head and none of them are logical, which is, oh god, this poor Stuffy.
Tell it, add some scary music, make it creepier than
Yeah.
it probably realistically was, and boom, you got a classic Halloween tale to tell your family for generations. I'm so sorry that this video was not the quality that it could have been. The audio's not that great.
To do it in a logical sense, it could have been her mind that created everything, and then, like, nothing happened. It was just maybe some robber, trespasser, hermit, a hobo was living there, and he came from time to time, and that's what happened. It could have been possible one of the children of the grandma or whatever. It was there for a while, and that wouldn't explain the rock, but it possibly bore or the hobo law theory. But I said sorry throughout this whole video? I forgot I was doing that. But basically that's a very interesting story, and there's actually more stories like that that are very common, and that sort of freaks me out, but I'm just gonna think more of the logical sense. Anyways, that was a reaction to that. Thank you to whoever recommended this for me. I forgot their name. I apologize. Well, I didn't say the S word. I just said apologize. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching my reaction to that. And I will see all you guys in the very next video, my beautiful, unique weirdos. So I'm out.